you have 24 hours in a day, and you're going to divvy that up in some way between sleeping, socializing, and doing work.
It's like, if there's something that has to be done or that I'd like to do, I usually will sacrifice sleep.
It's really tough for me to balance everything. I'm involved in a lot of extracurricular stuff.
I operate on a sleep deficit.
So I think a lot of people don't get enough sleep, but I think it's usually because they're doing something that they deem more valuable.
I used to think that sleep was a waste of time.
Oh, when I don't get enough sleep, I feel I pretty much just space out during class.
I feel my skin is just like tingly and very irritable. I just feel almost like I'm crawling out of my skin if I haven't gotten enough sleep.
I feel like I get sick more easily than I should because I'm never sleeping.
But sometimes I black out from sleep deprivation in the sense of 1 minute I'm working at my desk and then I wake up in the morning and I don't remember exactly how I got into bed.
Sleep need varies significantly from one individual to another, and much as many of us would like to believe that we're wired to get by fine on 5 or 6 hours of sleep a night, when we look at the data, the mean sleep time in individuals who are allowed to sleep at liberty is just a little over 8 hours.
Once anyone, a student or anyone, can figure out what their particular cycle of alertness and perhaps rest, deep rest is during a day, and work with it. Try not to ram it around too much. I think that's part of a healthy sleep cycle.
Someone mentioned sleep and how important it is, and it's no revolution. I'd heard it before, but I decided, why not? Try it, see how it goes. I had been a caffeine addict, and so this year I decided I would get 8 hours sleep. Every night I would try it out, sophomore fall, and it was amazing. I would get in bed, set my alarm for 8 hours, and I would wake up and just feel so ready to go, no matter what time it was. I guess my system this year that has revolutionized that has been knowing that I need the sleep and structuring everything else around that.
I feel like when I balance my time and I just know what assignments, because every class does have a syllabus, so I feel like if I look ahead at least per week, that is usually enough to manage.
This is probably the single most important item here, which is excessive time spent in bed awake. They don't necessarily have a true delayed sleep phase, although we may have acquired the information and heard it adequately to begin with, that information needs to be processed from our short-term memory into long-term retention, and sleep appears to be a critical element in that. This applies not only in the academic arena, but also in athletic performance. Part of memory is so-called procedural memory, learning how to do things as opposed to learning factual information.
Sleep affects performances, either being lethargic, not being able to perform the workout that's assigned, not making those corrections that we've gone over and over and over in our practices. Emotions get a little bit high, the tension and stress gets a little bit high. So, depending on the amount of the deprivation will kind of, let me know what mistakes can and will be made.
I remember one situation just this year where a student proudly announced that he had been up for 48 hours, which was a hall record apparently for his dorm. And I thought, well, okay, I guess that's the upside of that. It was clear to me that when he'd come into the room that there was a sort of time lag between what I had said to him and his ability to assimilate it, either both mentally and then let alone getting his body to do it.
I didn't value sleep that much, and I I stayed up till like 4 or 5 every night, whether it be like studying or socializing. And I didn't really realize how much of an impact it had on me until I started sleeping more. And definitely think your overall performance or your overall like attitude, your emotional level is very different with sleep and without sleep, for me personally. So I started valuing sleep more when I realized if I sleep more, I'm happier. And everything else just, the rest of your day kind of flows better.
Yeah, I just took a nap. It was glorious.
I've discovered that power naps work well. Sleep intensely for about 5 or 10 minutes, dream very intensely, and then when I wake up I feel considerably more refreshed. It's just that the effects aren't very long lasting.
Well, napping is not a substitute for an adequate amount of sleep at night. Some people are able to take the 15, 20, 30-minute power nap and feel pretty restored as a result of that. Other people don't seem to be wired to do that very effectively.
Because my classes usually end around 12:30 or 1, I just get lunch and then I nap for a bit before I continue the second half of my day.
If I've gotten severely too little sleep and am suffering severe consequences, I'll do whatever I have to get back to my dorm and sleep, because I can't handle the effects, really.
Yeah, because he went over in class. He'll give us this.
Performance and cognition improve across the board as a result of napping. Improvement in attention, concentration, in psychomotor performance, and in other spheres as well.
Help you figure out what we should make of yours.
If I'm coming down with a cold or if I feel like I'm like potentially going to get sick, I'll like nap to compensate for not getting sleep.
Academia is, we are in a place that is very high pressure for all of us, faculty, students, and all concerned. And that pressure is part of what is invigorating. It's also can wear us down.
Every once in a while to kind of sit and think about what stuff you're actually in. The only time I add things are if things are falling out. So like now I'm dancing because I'm not fencing anymore.
So it starts with time management and recognizing that sleep deprivation slows us down, makes us less efficient, and really costs us time and performance quality in the long run.
I know even when I get really desperate, really desperate, and I've saved something for the last minute, what I do instead is I go to bed at midnight, no matter what. That's the latest I'll stay up, even if it's cramming a paper in last minute. And I'll give myself 5 hours, and then I'll wake up the next morning and be like, all right, it's crunch time. I only have, 2 or 3 hours to work with, but I'm gonna get it done, and I'm prepared to get it done because I've slept. Those last 2 or 3 hours of the push through for the all-nighter are just unproductive, super hard to stay focused, really hard to get work done.
I can't really function. If I pull an all-nighter the next day, I'm not going to act like I normally do. I'm functioning, but not the way I would like to be.
Sure, I see overtired people around. I try not to interfere. I figure if they know what's best for them, or if they don't, they'll figure it out.
They try to balance school. They try to balance athletics. They try to balance work. They try to balance the social aspect, which are all very real parts of college. So to say they're going to get 8 hours is unrealistic in my opinion, but I like to think that they at least get 6 hours of good sleep.
I find that students that have been here a number of terms begin to understand not only their schedule, but understand themselves as autonomous beings that, they're geared, they want to succeed here, and if so, they start to recognize that their bodies perhaps work at certain times at optimum level.
I try to wake up at the same time in the morning, around like 7:30 to 8-ish. I really like sleeping with my shades up so that the sun wakes me up in the morning, so it feels a lot more natural and not forced like the alarm clock.
that time of getting up and initial light exposure in the morning is very important in terms of establishing a rather regular rhythm to our biological clock. If one allows that late sleeping in to get away, it can really begin to impact your ability to get up in the morning for classes, and certainly is likely to impact your ability to stay awake. You might be there physically, but your brain is probably still back in the dorm asleep.
In terms of taking advantage of my college years, I think by sleeping regularly, I have so much more fun with my friends when I'm with them, and I'm so much happier on a daily basis. I'm happier in class. Who knew that was possible? I'm happier even when I'm doing work. I'm happier at practice. And because I'm sleeping, I'm motivated to get my work done early in the day when I have energy, so I can go and do things like go to a movie with friends, or maybe, do something fun with them, go out to dinner. Know that your friends will probably like you a little bit more if you're not grumpy around them all the time. Your professors might too.